Hey DJs, it's Jamie Hartley here from Crossfader, the online DJ school. In today's tutorial video, we're going to be focusing on the Pioneer DDJ SB3. In particular, the FX Fade pad mode feature, which is located just here. This is a really unique feature to this controller, so we're going to break it down, explain just what it does, and more importantly, actually put it into practice and use it in the mix. Let's take a closer look. But please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff on this video to help us keep making more tutorials just like this one.
Let's take a closer look at the FX Fade pad mode and just what each of the pads do when they're activated. We need to understand how long they last for, these different effects, before we start using them in the mix. The first two pads on the left hand side are high pass filters. A high pass filter can be achieved using the filter in the mixer section, but what the FX Fade pads do is automate this process. The top pad lasts 2 bars in length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 bars, 2, 3, 4, and then we end up at total high pass. Turn it off. The bottom one lasts 4 bars in length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3 bars. 4, 2, 3, 4, and then we're totally at the high pass filter. The next two pads along do the same thing, but low pass, which is down this way on the mixer's filter. Again, the top one is 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 bars, 2, 3, 4, totally at the low. Now just bear in mind that when it's down at this low pass, if you've still got the bass left in, you can hear the rumble of the low end. If you take the low frequency away, it pretty much eliminates that sound. The bottom one is just twice as long. Next up, we have a really cool effect here. This is an echo out. What it does though is it automates a 1-beat loop and then fades the volume of that 1-beat loop down without you having to touch any faders or loop options. Have a listen. This is a common effect used when mixing, and we're going to show how this works very shortly. Underneath there is also a really cool effect to create build-ups. It starts by looping the track automatically as a 4-beat loop. Then it chops it down to 2 beats, loops that twice round, and then chops it down to 1 beat and continues looping that until we deactivate. Lastly, we have 2 backspins. First one being shorter than the second. So that's what the FX Fade pads do. Now let's check out how the FX Fade pads work when we're mixing. For this, I'm going to blend a new track into the mix and then use the FX Fade on the mix out. To start with, we're going to automate using a high pass filter, and we're going to use the longest version down here on the bottom. If we play this track and then skip later on towards the last drop, I'm then going to mix the next track in, getting ready with the headphones. Once we feel like we're confident and the tracks are in time, it's then time to mix the track in. To do this, I'm going to drop the low totally out, bring the mid down slightly, and bring the trim down slightly. Now let's fade in. As I bring the EQs up and the trim up, I'm going to swap the lows. Now instead of just mixing the track out, we're going to use the high pass FX Fade. 3, 2, 1, and activate. And that totally filters the track all the way to the high pass, and I can just fade the fader down. So that's the first. Remember to deactivate before mixing your next track. I'm going to mix this track back in and use the low pass on the opposite side. Let's skip the track towards the end and get ready on this first track. Mixing the track in the same way. Now I'm going to do it a bit earlier and press the FX Fade now as I bring the rest of the EQs up. Remember to take the low frequency away, otherwise it'll still be rumbling in the background. 3, 2, 1 and out. And there we have a really basic seamless mix incorporating the FX Fade, high pass and low pass pads. Next up we have the 1-beat echo. This can be used towards the end of the mix. Let's go back between these two tracks again, skipping towards the end. Let's swap the headphones over. Make sure to correct any timing in the headphones before mixing. Now let's introduce. Now to use this pad mode, we're going to have to do it a lot later in the mix. Swapping the EQs over first. Now just before the track changes again, we're going to turn it on. Let's wait a little bit longer. Now getting ready and activate. Next is the tightening of the loop. What we're going to do for this is not actually do it in the mix, we're just going to do it on the track itself. So as the track's building up, we'll grab it just before the drop, so 4 beats before the track drops in, and we're going to let it loop, build up, and then undo it to let the track drop. We're getting to that point now. And that just provides a little bit of energy before the track drops by creating almost an extra build up in the track itself. This could even be done at the end of the mix, so before the next track drops in, you could loop it so it tightens and then kill the fader leading into the next track. Let's have a listen to this in practice. Skipping towards the end, setting the track off. I'm going to start blending the track in now. Now make sure you've got the track in the background by swapping the EQs over before applying the FX Fade pad mode. So now that this track's in the background, we can start thinking about where we want to build up using this loop tightening feature. I'm going to go now. And then fade the track away. Now let's apply the backspin in the mix. To do this, we need to make sure that the track is nice and quiet because the backspin, if we just play it, sounds very loud. It makes the track a bit louder than it already is, so we need to make sure we've turned the trim down quite a bit and some of the EQs down before we hit the pad. Let's listen. Skip to the end of the track and get ready on my track 1. Correct the timing and prepare the EQs, ready to mix. I'm going to start blending in now. So as you've seen, I've turned the trim down by quite a lot and then backspin. Just make sure to kill the fader as the backspin gets to the end. Otherwise, the track's still going to be playing and they're not going to be in time necessarily with one another. So just make sure you kill the fader down as it backspins.
I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to learn some more on the Pioneer DDJ SB3, then just click the link that's either on screen or in the description, where I've pulled together another tutorial to help you learn some more tips and tricks with your controller. This video is from our complete beginner course for the Pioneer DDJ SB3. I developed this course to help you get started as a DJ with your specific equipment, so you can follow along step by step. There's a complete music pack that comes along with the course and some beat matching tools to really help you master those foundation skills, from beat matching to mixing, using the basic performance features both in the mix and some cool tricks with the effects. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you inside the course very soon.